You're listening to the Global Countdown, first broadcast on the briefing on the 6th of June.
What could that music possibly mean, except that Monocle's senior reporter, Fernando Augusto Pacheco, is here for this week's Global Countdown. Fernando, we have a special one this week, an election special. We've done so much serious news coverage of the elections on The Briefing, The Globalist, all of our shows for the past week or so. So this is the lighter side.
It's a bit of a crazy idea, but it is true. It's such an important year for elections everywhere, Chris. And you know, especially around this week, last week or next week, so many countries are voting for a different president, prime minister, or whatever. And we have a very interesting selection. They're very different countries as well. Let's see if their music taste is very different as well.
I'm sure it is going to be quite different just because of the list, right? It is such a range of different countries. So where are we headed to first? Which we're not going in the order that the elections themselves were held. We're just going to keep the simple alphabetical order, right?
Alphabetical order, so there's no best or worse, you know, it's just different countries here. We're starting with Belgium. They haven't voted yet. They will this Sunday. So let's look at who is number one in Belgium. Unfortunately, it's not a Belgian artist.
Shame.
It's the North American singer Billie Eilish, but I have to say, Chris, I do like her. And this is her new single called Lunch, which we'll talk about it after listening to this.
You need a seat, I'll volunteer. Now she's smiling ear to ear. She's the headlights on the deer. I said it all before, but I'll say it again. I'm interested.
She is fast developing into a superstar, isn't she?
You know what? I'm going to come out here, not as gay, but I will say that I'm a fan of Billie Eilish. You know, there are names for the fans, the Swifties or whatever, the monsters. But I wonder, what is the name for a Billie Eilish fan? I should find out this, actually.
Is there not somebody might call into this show to tell us? The Billies? I don't know what.
The Billies.
I don't have a good one for you, I'm afraid.
And this song's quite cool. She said that this song helped to understand her sexuality as well. You know, the song's quite explicit. It's a celebration of queer love. She says, I could eat that girl for lunch. Yes, she dances on my tongue. Very cool song.
All right. Well, let's move quite a hard right turn, I would say now. We're moving on to India.
India, which is, that's the biggest election of them all. We had surprise results. Modi's still going to be the prime minister, but with not so much of a majority there. But let's look at the number one song. This is interesting, Chris, because India is very unique. The number one songs from India are usually soundtracks of films. And the singer themselves, they're not actually in the films. So they're called playback singers, or ghost singers. So the actors kind of dub, so it's not necessarily the actor that is singing the song. So it's quite an interesting, very unique to the Indian music charts. But let's have a listen to Arjit Singh with Sajni from the film Lapata Ladies.
Oh Sajni re, kaise kate din raat, kaise ho tujhse baat.
That was a great tune there by Arijit Singh, who is a very famous playback singer, I have to say.
Playback singer. It's such a strange concept, but I guess every country has its own version of music. And sort of how it's presented.
And this film apparently is like a comedy drama. Two newlywed brides, they got exchanged on a train journey to their husbands' houses. So I think they go to the different husband. So there's a lot of mix-ups in this film. But there's a beautiful ballad there.
It is a beautiful ballad. We'll take that one. Before we get to the next track, we just need to emphasize that our producer, Vinny, back in the studio, has clarified for us that indeed Billie Eilish fans are known as avocados.
I will resign as a fan of Billie because I hate avocados. But, I will definitely read up more on that, Chris. Very interesting.
Well, I'm glad we could get that in there quickly. But now we're moving again, sort of another far turn, from India to Madagascar.
Madagascar, they voted for a new parliament last week, but let's find out what are they actually listening. This is one of the biggest pop stars in Madagascar at the moment. It's Lima with Mamei. I like the Malagasy rhythms there. Very sunny.
Very good rhythms, very catchy. It's good catchy tune. I like that. I'll take that. And I like that it's from Madagascar. Once again, we have a local number one.
I couldn't really find the lyrics for the song, but looking at the video, which is, high budget, I would say, there's a woman, she receives two small action men on her house. One is wearing a suit and the other one is not wearing a suit. It's a bit scrappy. But then she falls in love with one in the suit, and then he wants revenge. So it's all very weird.
The guy not in the suit wants revenge.
Yes, and he's the singer. It's Lima.
Oh, I see.
Not the capital of Peru.
Okay, no, not the capital of Peru. No. But speaking of Peru, we are heading to South America, Central Latin America next. Oh, I struggled with that transition, so we're just going to ignore that. But we're going to Mexico. Of course, they had big elections too.
Big election. Their first female president, Claudia Sheinbaum. Very interesting news from the country. And I have to say, Chris, I think we've mentioned this before. Mexico is going through a tremendous phase musically. Their artists are being exported, especially to the US, and they're doing very, very well, including those two from the song that is number one at the moment is Natanael Cano and Oscar Maidon with the song called Madonna. Let's have a listen.
Lady Gaga, con champaña, lo dirá rápido, se empaña.
Okay, so which Madonna are we talking about?
It is the one I love, the Queen of Pop. So basically, I think in the song he's comparing the love of his life to all those divas, including Lady Gaga. So the song is it's a little bit about ostentation. So he says, "You are my Madonna today. I will move the world for you." So it's quite cute. I like Madonna. So, I like that. I like that tune.
You don't just like Madonna, Faye. Like, let's be honest.
I love it. And the song has this kind of corrido beat, which is it's like poetry, which is part of the Mexican music scene as well.
It's it sounds like a very classic Mexican tune, but it's a good one. Interesting. Well, let's move on to not our number one, but our later in the alphabet for this countdown. South Africa also, once again, big historic elections. What's the music scene like?
The music scene is fantastic. Their music genre, Mapiano, is conquering the charts worldwide. I think it's a very creative music scene. There's so many amazing songs coming out, but this one, thanks to a dance challenge, is doing very well, not only in South Africa, but in other countries as well. I'll tell you about the dance challenge later, but this is Tito M and Yupe with Chwala Ban. The dance challenge is very simple, Chris. I think it's like basically you have to move your shoulders in a very fast way, like almost in a throbbing way. It's like just move your shoulders.
Move your shoulders as fast as you can.
As fast as you can, like this.
And keep up with the beat. Move your shoulders.
I think it's good exercise.
What do you win? Is this just like videos everywhere in sort of South Africa popping up of people gyrating their shoulders?
You win recognition on TikTok. I think that's good enough, right?
It's all about recognition, isn't it, on social media at the end of the day? Fernando, Augusto, Pacheco, thank you very much.